Tax reform is here to stay. Tinubu replies northern governors, others agitating Nigerians. Announced at the news info. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu on Monday vowed that his administration is not going to back down on the new tax reform bill before the National Assembly. Tinubu, who stated this during a media chat with selected journalists, said that Nigeria can't continue in the old ways. Tax reform is here to stay. We cannot just continue to do what we were doing yesteryears in today's economy. We cannot retool this economy with old thoughts. I believe I have that capacity. I believe so. That is why I went into this race. Are you sure? Are you sure you really have the capacity? Because the way you are talking, even though, okay, yes, you are making some decisions to help Nigerians, the way you don't have empathy, it's really out of hand though. I am focused. Okay, let's all focus on what Nigeria needs and what I'm supposed to do for Nigerians. It's just not going to be El Dorado for everybody, but a new dawn is here, and I'm convinced, and you should be convinced. You should help propagate that conviction. You are not very convinced though. The introduction of President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bill has sparked widespread debate across Nigeria. This proposed legislation aims to overhaul the country's tax collection and administration system, presenting an opportunity to create another taxation model. At the heart of the bill are radical provisions such as revisions to the value-added tax, VAT revenue sharing formula, and exemptions for small businesses and the average Nigerians. While the changes could potentially revitalize Nigeria's economy, they also expose critical issues within the country's federal structure, particularly the economic imbalances among regions, states, and local governments. One of the most contentious aspects of the reform is the proposed VAT revenue sharing formula. Under the new model, 60% of VAT revenue will be allocated to states where goods and services were consumed, 20% distributed based on population, and the remaining 20% equally shared among states. That is why the Northerners are complaining. No wonder. They already complain. This marks a departure from the current system where revenue is distributed based on where companies remit taxes, often in states with a high concentration of corporate headquarters like Lagos and Rivers. While the new model aims to ensure fairness by emphasizing consumption patterns, it has drawn intense criticism, especially from northern state governors and stakeholders who feel disadvantaged. That's their wahala. No wonder they are arguing, they are complaining. The governors' main concern lies in the derivation-based model, which they argue unfairly shifts a larger share of the revenue to certain states. And so make your states relevant, and people should consume things. You cannot be saying you don't want this thing to be sold in your country, in your state, and yet you want to be sharing revenue that comes from it. Could work. This approach could exacerbate existing economic disparities and disrupt Nigeria's delicate balance of fiscal federalism. However, this resistance also discloses a deeper issue: the over-reliance of certain states on federal allocation instead of actively developing their internal revenue generating capacity. Yes, that is what the Northerners should do. Develop your internal revenue generating capacity, and yet you will not have any cause to complain about the tax reform bill. You will not. The bill includes a proposal to establish the Joint Revenue Board, the Tax Appeal Tribunal, and the Office of the Tax Ombudsman, all part of President Tinubu's comprehensive tax reform package. Okay, the tax reform, I don't have an issue with it. It's only the Northerners that are having issues with it. Hopefully that one it will work well, but empathy is very important. Have empathy, have kind words to say to your citizens. Not just say you don't have regrets that you remove this one, you remove that one. Even if you are doing something for the betterment of the country and it's affecting us negatively because the hunger is way too much, at least have small good thing to say. Not saying you don't have any regrets. It's bad. Atiku Yahya says time will justify, good remain good and bad remain bad. Democracy is not one man's decision. Adeyinka says they should end allocations and give back ownership control of state resources of each state should only remit 3 to 5% of revenue tax VAT, and federal government should scramble federal police. Each state should create state police. Nigerians are tired of depending on federal allocation, that some governors divert the fund and embezzle the fund. that was meant to develop the state. A whole lot of governors are doing this one. We need a new implementation plan to move the country forward. The federal allocations encourage corruption. The federal government are biased by claiming the crude oil and allow some northern states to control their mining gold and so forth. Okay now. Azam Bizi says, dictator, Emperor Ashewaju, this man was speaking as if he was not elected by the same Nigerians. Anyway, we'll wait and see what he is going to tell them when campaign for second term. This man claims to be a seasoned politician, but look at how he talks with arrogance. That is why you voted for him, Abi Hassan. I'm sure you are one of the people that voted for him. Sorry, Make do with it. It is your decision that has put all Nigerians in this wahala. Ufe Domasi says, why is it that it is only the Northerners that are complaining about the tax reform? The Northerners should be collecting tax from Boko Harams. Abi bandits is bar, since it's the only investment they have there now. Abi Victor Lucky says, I like the way Born to Rule people are crying on the comment section. Be small Born to Rule. I act as if they are the owners of Nigeria. I never see Shege Banza, na only Shege be still there, na don dey cry. Tax reform bill has come to stay. John Ransford says, what if the Northerners take over the government in years ahead and change the whole story? Why not dialogue to seek consensus now than the iron fist one-man approach to governance? A diverse society, millions of perspectives, is bigger than one man's ambition. Anyway, they like, they should be running it. If Northerners are there, if they return the tax reform bill, no wahala. Make we dey do and they go like that. Make we dey put people that are not sensible in power and be complaining there. Okay now. Bro Ibama says, once you mention religion, the North becomes blind and believe everything you say. He has gained your votes by deception. Tax reform has come to stay. Let the North keep crying. You will know who to vote next. Abi now. Shegun Atalabe says, the tax reform will not also favor many southern states, but those governors see the big picture. But the northern governors are politicizing the matter. I guess some of these governors are simply fighting for their personal interests. Before Uncle. In my opinion, the northern governors should replicate the kind of unity displayed in fighting the tax reform into fighting insecurity, abuse, banditry, and insurgency, and adding value to the agricultural produce so that it can be vatable. In the long run, the burden of the tax will be transferred to those who consume the product in the south. Exactly. Make yourself better, make yourself useful, so that people will be able to contribute to the economy in the country, so you will not have to complain about the tax reform bill. Slim Holy says, Mr. President, on your mandate we stand. Now so, you are doing well, sir. Ride us to your promised land. Now so, my listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.